Hello, everyone, and welcome to English 1302 for the summer. My name is Heather Fitch, and I am your instructor for this course. I want to take this opportunity to run through a few things and just get you accustomed with what's on Blackboard and how it looks and what you'll need to be doing this semester. I want to point out before I go anywhere, the buttons at the top of the screen, content, calendar, announcements, discussions, gradebook, messages. Um, those are important for you guys to know about and to use. Um, the calendar has dates in it. Don't go by that calendar, though. It does help and it does tell you when things are due. However, once we get into the content folder, if you'll open it up, you'll end up seeing that there is a schedule in there, and I'll ask that you'll go by that instead of the calendar that's in Blackboard, just because occasionally there are due dates that you need to know before that calendar picks it up and says, "Hey, it's due now." So go by the summer schedule, not the calendar. Announcements. This is where I will post up announcements, things that you'll need to know about ahead of time before the semester starts, or sometimes, like once I finish grading something, I'll put up an announcement and let you know, hey, it's been graded, points have been added, that kind of thing. The discussion board is there. This is part of this class. There are 5 discussion boards. There are 3 over short stories, and there is 1 over poetry and 1 for Hamlet. So there is that. I'll talk more about these a little bit later. I do want to point out discussion 3 is unique. It is where you'll post up your rough draft of one of your essays, essay 1, and your peers will review it. You'll later use that for a teamwork assignment, to reflect on how your peers reviewed your essay and how you work together as a quote unquote team. So that is something to know about that it comes up in discussion 3. And you'll notice there you're already divided into groups for that discussion board. All right, onward. Gradebook is where you'll find your grades. And then the messages feature is wonderful. However, I don't get alerts on my phone when I have a message in Blackboard. So if you need a fast response, don't use that. Use Remind. Now, I'm going to show you guys where the Remind code is. In the Start Here folder, which hopefully you've already looked at, you'll see the welcome video, which you're watching now. You'll see the welcome. You'll see the first graded assignment, and that is where your Remind code is going to be. And I'm recording this now, but I may be using this again later, so make sure you double check and make sure your Remind code is the one you're using, not the one you see on the screen in this video, because I tend to reuse my videos when I can. So check your Remind code. Now, while I'm here, I want to point out your first graded assignment is due during the first week of the semester. You need to do it quickly, and all you have to do is follow the instructions in the first graded assignment. Please read all of it, and then scroll down, and it says if any of the pop options is true, select true. Guess what? There's only one correct answer, true. So select true, and then what that's going to do once you've done this, and please, please, please make sure you go through and do this part first, right? Do this part first. But once you've done this, that's going to open up the content folder back in your Blackboard. And you see right here, release conditions, the release conditions. Students must submit at least 1 attempt on first graded assignment to access this content. So you need to do the first graded assignment before you can open up the content. If you don't open up the content, you won't even know that you're missing stuff. All right, let's move onward. Part of your first graded assignment is to look at the syllabus. And so this is where that syllabus is. Ta-da, it's here. We do not have a textbook for this course anymore. Everything is online in the schedule, which I will show you momentarily. These are the grading schemas, how I'm going to be grading things. Daily grades are worth 10%, unit exams are 30%, essays 30%, final exam 30%. So point blank, if you miss a unit exam, an essay, or a final exam, you're not going to pass. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Attendance policy online, that just means do your work. Policy on the makeup work. Title IX. Oh, the NPC. The NPC is one thing that I do the other professors don't typically do. I call it the no penalty zone. is an additional 24 hours that I offer to each student on the essay assignments, only the essay assignments. And what this does, it gives you an extra 24 hours. So if you said, if your essay is due on Sunday and you turn it in Sunday night, and then you wake up Monday morning and you say, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this, then you can do it and you can send it in, and that's fine. So there's that. It saves me headaches. It saves you headaches. Disability services. If you have a disability of any kind, please get the stuff done and send it to me. I will gladly accommodate you. I cannot accommodate you without that paperwork. Learning outcomes. This is the part that you need to be looking at for that first graded assignment. It says, look at the learning outcomes and tell me which one is most applicable to what you want to do with your life. So please look at that. On down, a disclaimer, I have the right to change things if I need to. I usually don't because that gets confusing. All right, onward. New student information. I doubt any of you need that, but just in case, it is there. Blackboard orientation is there also. The Writing Studio and tutor.com are available. The Writing Studio is available during the summer also, but their hours are different, so please check in with them ahead of time before you try to go up there. They are physically on Kilgore College campus in the library. You can visit with them, you can chat with them, you can set up an appointment to review your essays before you turn them in just to make sure they look nice. But also here on this link that I'm showing you, there's a lot of information right here that can help you to write essays and to do stuff. See right there, look at the bottom, how to format for MLA, your works cited paper. It's also got how to do grammar stuff. It's got how to research. It's even got information. I don't remember where it was. I think it was up here somewhere. It's got information on how to do Google Docs and how to transfer Google Docs into PDFs and things like that. So there's links for all of that stuff right here on this website. You don't have to look any further. Isn't that nice? All right, going back, that's the Writing Studio. This is tutor.com. Tutor.com is available 24/7. So when I tell you guys, I want you to get a tutor to look at your paper before you turn it in, do that because it's worth 5 bonus points on those essays when you do them. And also, it's just really helpful. Now, when you go into tutor.com, it's going to look something like this, and you're going to, well, actually, let's see, switch to student view so I can show you what it'll look like to you. There it is. That's what it'll look like to you. And you'll say, okay, I want to connect with a tutor now. And you have, see that right there, you have 4 hours remaining. Okay, you get 4 hours per class per semester. So if you use all your 4 hours for this English class, guess what? You get 4 hours for your next history class or whatever else you're doing. All right, select your topic. We're going to be doing English. You can do a subtopic. Maybe we're doing American literature. That's what we're focusing on in here, but literary criticism, why not? And then you can chat or chat with your voice. You can ask a question here. I always suggest adding a question because you want to focus your time with your tutor. Again, you only have 4 hours. It's not a long time if you're doing 2 essays. So focus your time, add a question in there. Hey, can you check my thesis? Hey, can you make sure my paper looks good? Whatever it is. Then attach the file. You may even want to add your instructions for the essay that you're working on just because the tutors on tutor.com don't know me. They are a third-party company. They don't know my instructions. They don't know my work. So it's important for them to know that, and it'll help them to do the best and the most effective work to help you. So I do highly recommend that when we get to doing essays, I will give you bonus points for doing tutoring with either the Writing Studio or tutor.com. If you do any other tutor, I don't give points for those. The Writing Studio or tutor.com. Tutor.com, I get a transcript and I can see what was done and what was said. The Writing Studio, if you ask the tutor, they will email me and tell me that you were there. And then I give you points on your essay. All right, moving on. Academic policies are listed. Netiquette for discussion boards, how we should behave, student success tips. Those are good pointers. Extra credit is there also. You can click on all of those things, open them up, check them out. All right, again, once you finish that first graded assignment, you're going to open up this content folder. And this is the rest of your class, pretty much, is in this content folder, okay? The first thing I want you to notice, look at there. Please read. There's a note on your lecture videos. The videos that you will encounter in this course were all recorded at different times. Thusly, you may see page numbers or I may mention a page number, but we don't need textbooks anymore. Pay attention to the schedule. Again, and then the videos sometimes show due dates or remind codes that are different from ours. Keep in mind that if I say something due this week in the video, it may not actually be due in this week. So follow the schedule, not the video. Onward. The summer schedule. I'm going to pick this up and tweak it a bit here and there, so it may not look exactly the way you see on my screen right now. However, mostly it will be. This is intended to tell you exactly what to do and when. So, for example, week 1, do the start here, first graded assignment. Ta-da! Number 2, read these stories, and the links are there. If the links don't work, let me know, please. And then you have tasks to do. Complete discussion 1, complete quiz 1, complete quiz 2. All right, let's move on to week 2. And it tells you what you need to do for week 2. And then you move on to week 3 and you do what you need to do for week 3 and week 4 and week 5. All right. Pay attention to the due dates because they are not always the same. Sometimes I have a Wednesday here. Sometimes I have a Friday here. Sometimes it's Sunday. I tried to keep them fairly consistent throughout the semester, but that's not easy to do on a summer course because we are strapped for time, my friends, and we have a lot of stuff to cover in a very short amount of time. I want to warn you too, while we're here, you'll notice Unit 1 is all about short stories. That's going to be week 1 and week 2 pretty much. Short stories are short, but they are stories. So you do need to be ready to read a little bit. It's a lot. And I know it's a lot, but it's a summer class. I took 8 weeks worth of work and I packed it down into 5. So it's a lot of work all at one time. Be prepared for this. All right. Um, that's short stories. Poetry is a little bit shorter, but that's where your research essay is. And so there's not as much work to do ahead of time, but there is more work to do in that essay. And then finally, weeks 4 and 5 focus on drama. Once we get into Hamlet, I talked through Hamlet in a lecture video there, and it's pretty quick and easy. So uh, eh, I'm going to tell you this as easily as I can. It starts off really intense with all those short stories to read, but by the time we get to the end, it's not quite so intense anymore. So if you'll bear with me, grin and bear it, get through it, you'll do just fine. All right, cool. Let's move on. Going down, Unit 1, again, short stories. You'll open this up and you will see 3 major folders. You'll see lecture videos, assignments, exams, and quizzes, and essay 1. And it's pretty self-explanatory. So the lecture videos go through, for short stories, for example, they go through each of the short stories. And there's lots of information in these videos. I go through all of it. I do want to ask you to please watch them in order that you need to. Watch How to Analyze a Short Story first, then watch Elephant Village of the Mind, right? And so follow the schedule, watch the stories, okay? Assignments, exams, and quizzes. So anything that is due for Unit 1 is in here. Vocab 1, Quiz 1, Quiz 2, Quiz 3. The unit exam, the teamwork assignment. Remember, I told you there's a discussion board that you have to do peer review. The teamwork assignment goes along with that, and it tells you about that right there in the description, right? Download the assignment, answer the questions based on the interactions in discussion board 3, and turn in the assignment here. All right, onward. Essay 1, right? There's an essay for each unit. Essay 1 is all about short stories, and that information is all right there. All right, moving on. Go to Unit 2 next. Unit 2 is all about poetry. Again, you have lecture videos. In poetry, there's only 2. Well, and the How to Analyze Poetry. And I kind of combined everything into those 2 videos. Again, there's less to do, but that essay is a bigger deal because it is a research essay. So, moving on, there's vocab 2, quiz 4, and then the unit exam. And then the essay 2. This is a research essay. All right. You research a poem and a poet. All right. Finally, you'll see in Unit 3, which is all about Hamlet and drama, there's only 2 folders because there's Hamlet, right? And then there's the final exam. The final exam, you'll notice here at the bottom, has two parts. It's got the timed essay and the final exam multiple choice section. So that timed essay serves as your essay for Hamlet. It is about Hamlet. And so once you finish that, check out your study guide for the final exam and get ready for that bad boy. All right. I think I went through everything pretty quickly there, but hopefully this is helpful. Again, if at any point you find yourself in trouble, you find yourself struggling, you start falling behind even just a little, let me know immediately, because the faster that you let me know that there's a problem, the better I'm going to be able to help you. Okay. If you wait until finals week and then you say, Miss Fitch, I missed like 20 assignments. Can you help me? No, I cannot. Okay. I need you to let me know as soon as you find out that there's a problem. Then I can help you. All right. Um, I think that's about it for now. If you have questions, concerns, commands, demands, or otherwise, please, please, please text me on Remind. Again, if you use the messages feature in Blackboard, I do get those, but not quickly. If you email me, I get those, but not quickly. I get my text messages from Remind most quickly. They come directly to me, and I can respond to them quickly and get back to you. All right, folks. Well, that is a wrap. I will see you in some of the other lecture videos. Good luck, and I hope you have a fabulous class.